Stop number 2 of the Sunoco Cup Series comes to the Rockingham for the KMart 500. Before we go into that, let's take a look at the points so far after the Daytona 500. Dylan Kilburn is our points leader with the win. Chantel Ibarra, the champ, is in second. Bob Marshall, the rookie, is in third. Trey Campbell and Alex Filter are both tied for fourth. And then the rest from 6 to 10 is Jonathan Gators, Zach Carlson, Ray Castor, Justin Acosta, and Sasha Dawson rounding out the top 10. So let's take a look at our starting grid here at Rockingham. On the pole, qualifying at 163.695 miles an hour, is the number 18 Interstate Batteries Chevrolet of Connor Breton. And on the outside will be the number 97 Kellogg's Cornflakes Olds of Jennifer Hughes. Row number 2 will be the number 51 Exxon Chevrolet of Sasha Dawson and the number 0 Ford of Trent Dunham. Row 3 will be the number 26 Quaker State Buick of James Qualls and the number 6 Stroslide Ford of Kathy Cantara. Row number 4 will be the number 95 Olds of Justin Acosta and the reigning Sunoco Busch champion, the number 86 Olds of Faith Johnson. And row number 5 will be the number 46 Chevrolet of Johnny Gardner and the number 13 Glidden Paints Chevrolet of Tim Fiegel. Row number 6 will be the 07 of SKYLYNN CARLSON and the 82 of Fred Christopher. Row 7 will be Nick Baxter in the 81 Pontiac and John Acosta. Dylan Poteet, the Daytona pole sitter, and Stephanie Naylor will make row number 8. And Keon Shaw and Skylar Harris will make row number 9. Keith Batson and Dylan Kilburn, the points leader and only winner this season, make row number 11. No, row number 9. Row 10 will be Liam Campbell and Joseph Lombard. Levi Shones and the reigning event winner Alexander Dawson will follow. Then it will be Alex Filter and Michael Dawson. Row 14 will be Ray Castor and Zach Carlson, Chantel Ibarra and John Dawson, Bob Marshall and Trey Campbell, Eric Matthews and Dylan Ruiz, Colin Cropley and Josh Osborne, Tim Walsh and Austin Hughes, and rounding them out will be Jonathan Gators and Daniel SCHWAB, and Dylan Hughes and Ryan Cooper will be your tail shotgun at the field. So it'll be 50 laps around the 1 mile. That is the Rock. And they come out at turn. Pace car pulls out. Green flag flying. And we are racing. Connor Breton early jump on things. Sasha Dawson right there into second. As Jennifer Hughes drops up high. Here's a battle going on behind them. James Qualls going to the inside of Trent Dunham, but already going for the number 1 spot is the number 51 Exxon Lumina of Sasha Dawson. Connor Breton will drop back to second. Here comes Justin Acosta, a recent winner in the Castro GTX Cup Series, making a move on James Qualls, the man responsible for bringing that series here. And we got a lot of smoke, and we're under yellow, and it looks like it may have to do with the number 36 of Jonathan Gators. Yes, as well as Dylan Hughes. There's where we had the culprit. Dylan Hughes, Austin Hughes, and Jonathan Gators. Jonathan had a very good showing at Daytona, but not here. Who made a little bit of a touch. Made contact with Dylan Hughes, and both of them just spun out into the wall. Jonathan took it into the wall. The same thing with Dylan Hughes. They both slide. That was not a very pretty showing for Dylan Hughes, the EDS Lumina, and Jonathan Gators had a very good showing in our first at the Daytona 500, but excuse me, not to be here. Let's go on board with Jonathan Gators on that. We'll also go on board with Dylan Hughes as well, but we'll go look at Jonathan first. Got it back in. Back up and running. Not very good damage to the rear. But let's see what happened with Dylan Hughes. Let's go on board with Dylan Hughes and see what he saw. When you come down the stripe, you're going to turns 1 and 2. He goes to the inside. You see the number 8 of Tim Walsh up there too, and that's where he went right into. Not what you wanted. Not what you wanted, as I said before. So let's see where we stand. Right now, it is still Sasha Dawson leading, Connor Breton second, James Qualls is third, Justin Acosta's in fourth, rounding out the top 5 is Johnny Gardner. Then it'll be Jennifer Hughes, who seems like the only member of the Hughes family that's actually having a very good day. The rookie actually is holding her own over the 2 returning drivers. SKYLYNN CARLSON is 7th, who actually matches her car number, kinda. The 07 in 7th. Then it's Trent Dunham, Nick Baxter, and Kathy Cantar rounding at the top 10. Then it will be Dylan Poteet, Faith Johnson, Tim Fiegel, Stephanie Naylor, Nick Baxter, Keon Shaw, Keith Batson, John Acosta, Skylar Harris, and Liam Campbell, your top 20. Then it will be Levi Scones, Alex Filter, Joseph Lombard, Ray Castor, Alexander Dawson, Chandeli Barra, Dylan Kilburn, our Daytona winner right now in 27th. Then it's Zach Carlson, Bob Marshall, Eric Matthews, Michael Dawson, Dylan Ruiz, Colin Cropley, Trey Campbell, Austin Hughes, Josh Osborne, Ryan Cooper, John Dawson, Daniel SCHWAB, Tim Walsh, and of course Dylan Hughes and the number 36 of Jonathan Gators will tail the field. It'll be lap number 6 to 50. We still got a long way to go. 45 more laps of racing, so there's a lot more in store, guaranteed. Pace car pulls off. Sasha Dawson will lead. The winner at Martinsville last season in the Sunoco Cup Series. Connor Breton actually won once last year as well. Won the second event at North Wilkesboro. A great jump for the number 51 Exxon Lumina. Sasha trying to keep up with the Dawson family success here. As we said, Alexander Dawson is your defending race winner. But James Qualls is going to try to make a move on Connor Breton. And on behind them, the number 46 Johnny Gardner go right to the number 4 spot, passing Justin Acosta. But now Johnny Gardner's going to make a move on James Qualls. James goes up high. Johnny Gardner. Looks like they're going to see if it's going to make a difference. No, James Qualls will have enough to ride out of it. And with that, it'll actually help Justin Acosta make a move on Johnny Gardner. But up front, we just saw James Qualls try to make a peek down to the inside of Connor Breton. He does just that. He finished dead last at Daytona, which was not the way he wanted to start the season. He basically carried over from how abysmal his last half of the season was last year, where he became the first to win 2 events in the season, when he won first at Las Vegas and then won his second, the first Pocono event, and then never got it out of cruise control once they got into the second half of the season, where he had horrible performance after horrible performance after horrible performance. But it's still Sasha Dawson leading. Connor Breton trying to make a move again on James again. Enough momentum. Yep, he'll do it. He'll take back the number 2 spot. James Qualls will drop back with the help of Justin Acosta. You also see, once again, Jennifer Hughes. Once again, the only Hughes member. Oh, she went way high there. That was not really a good idea. I was just about to say, one of the better performances by the Hughes family is right now the rookie. And she just dropped back a bunch of positions. Dropped back to the 7th spot out of the top 5. But up front, we see Justin Acosta passing Connor Breton, giving a challenge. Sasha Dawson extending her lead. her lead, excuse me. Johnny Gardner's going to go to the inside of Justin Acosta. There's Dylan Poteet, the number 22. The pole sitter at Daytona. Nick Baxter right behind in the number 81 Pontiac. And then got 3 wide racing going on. James Qualls, Connor Breton going up high. And there comes the Sunoco Busch champion, Faith Johnson. Now Johnny Gardner's in second. Dylan Poteet's third. Here comes now also the number 81 of Nick Baxter. And Faith Johnson. James Qualls trying to make a move too. Faith Johnson, James Qualls trying to draft each other. Now Justin Acosta dropping back as he's getting passed by Tim Figel. Fred Christopher right there too. A little bit of a funky move there by Keith Batson. The field really starting to separate. You saw Bob Marshall and Colin Cropley get almost there with Austin Hughes. Going back up here, there's Tim Figel trying to make a move on James Qualls with the help of Stephanie Naylor. And there's Keon Shaw, the Dentine Lumina, trying to get into the top 10. Right now, still a lot of stuff going on right now. It's still Sasha Dawson, then Johnny Gardner, then Dylan Poteet. You got like a page out of the Days of Thunder movie right now with the 1-2 punch, Rowdy Burns and Cole Trickle. It almost reminds you of it. The only reason why I'm using these 2 cars is because Hutch Strickland drove the number 51 at Darlington, and Greg Sachs drove the number 46 at Darlington. They were both driven at Darlington. Actually, Greg Sachs also drove the Exxon Superflow car at Atlanta in 1990, but did not qualify. But Dylan Poteet gets the number 2 spot, but here comes the champ, Faith Johnson, the only Johnson sister racing in Sunoco Series this season. Emily Page did not sign up for this, which was kind of surprising. A tough break for... So basically the only flag bearer for the Johnson family is Faith, the champ. Tim Figel making a move to the inside of Faith with the help of Stephanie Naylor. And all the while, Sasha Dawson still extending her lead. All this battling behind is actually going to extend the lead for Sasha Dawson. Right now, the speed is only 109.982 miles an hour for Sasha Dawson. Make that 111. About a 0.3 of a second lead. Stephanie Naylor now gets the number 2 spot. Here comes again Nick Baxter, James Qualls right there, same thing as always. It is still Sasha Dawson. Now Nick Baxter takes the number 2 spot. James Qualls right there. 3 wide racing. How about right there? We see Faith Johnson, Tim Figel, John Acosta. There's Fred Christopher having a very solid showing in the top 10. Oh, Stephanie Naylor almost looked like he's going to tag the wall there for a second. Almost went into Johnny Gardner. Saves it, though. James Qualls still is in third. There's Christopher. There's Acosta. I don't know why it shows all the cars, only shows so many cars. I usually don't have that problem. I usually see the full field, and now when I have to move back, that's when certain cars pop up. That never seems to happen whenever I do that. We're almost at the halfway point, though. The lead's starting to close up a little bit. As you see now, it's only less than 0.2 of a second separating Nick Baxter from Sasha Dawson, and about half a second separating them from Stephanie Naylor, who's in fourth. It still can get interesting at any given moment. The top 4 right there, in a freight train. You see Keith Batts is starting to move up a little bit too. He's now in the top 10, having a very solid showing. James Qualls is going to try to make a move on Nick Baxter. Nope, not going to be. Actually, the gap starting to close up less than 0.3 of a second separating these four. And then from John Acosta, it's about 7/10 of a second. They regained a little bit of ground there, but Stephanie Naylor apparently dropped a little bit. James Qualls actually is less than 0.2 of a second separating. As we're down 25 down, 25 to go. 121.235 miles an hour, the clocked time of that lap. Still a lot of time to make a move. They've been basically glued together. John Acosta starting to gain ground. Same with Keon Shaw. Liam Campbell getting challenged by Connor Breton for the 7th spot. And now Nick Baxter looks like going to make a move to the inside. Yes, he is. I wonder if it's going to be, crazy or is it going to be smart? And same thing with Stephanie Naylor moving to the inside of James Qualls. So now we got a new leader and maybe a new number 2 and maybe a new number 3 is now John Acosta starting to seize the opportunity. And it will be Nick Baxter who will lead. Stephanie Naylor will now take the number 2 spot. And now Stephanie Naylor's going to make a challenge. The number 88 Crisco Pontiac goes right to the inside and takes the number 1 spot just like that. So now we start to really get into some good racing as we enter the second half of this race. Stephanie Naylor now takes the number 1 spot. John Acosta right there won the Bristol Night Race, the Grab Some Buds 500 in Season 1. Stephanie Naylor came up winless, came up so close so many times, including a close 3-wide finish at the second Charlotte race when she was nosed out by Johnny Gardner and Dylan Poteet, who obviously was our winner of that event, and denied. She was also had a close shot at the first Pocono event and had the best seat in the house to watch James Qualls get the second win of the season and basically set the tone for the year. 20 laps to go for Stephanie Naylor. John Acosta second. Keon Shaw. Here comes Liam Campbell, who's trying to get his first for the season, first career win. We got a couple who are wanting to go for first career wins. There's a lot of others looking for their first win of the season. We started off the year with a rookie winning in Dylan Kilburn, who right now Dylan is... Want to know where Dylan Kilburn is? Wow, how about Justin Acosta far back in the field right now? But there's Dylan Kilburn right now. Number 20, he's in 26th. Right behind Zach Carlson. There's Josh Osborne. Alexander Dawson, our winner here a year ago, is 23rd. Battling going on here. Ray Castor getting challenged on the inside by Eric Mantis. He went way high up there. And meanwhile, it is still Stephanie Naylor leading. John Acosta starting to close the gap. It's about 13 hundredths of a second separating the two. On rear board of Stephanie Naylor, you can see that Kraft Ford right behind you. You can see it's like right in your face. And you go down the back straightaway. It just turns number 3 and 4. That's 9 hundredths of a second in your face. 8 hundredths of a second. And now we go back to the live shot. You see him go right out of your view because he's coming on by. John Acosta takes the number 1 spot. Nick Baxter will follow suit to get the number 2 spot. Liam Campbell right there, the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. He's looking for his first career win. Nick Baxter's trying to keep this rookie's dominating streak going. He's going to go for that number 1 spot on John Acosta, just like that. So, in a matter of seconds, we see a lead change times 2. As there's Nick Baxter getting the number 1 spot. Liam Campbell right behind. Liam's going to use the inside with the help of Keon Shaw, but the door closes right in his face. James Qualls yet again back in there. Keon Shaw. Nick Baxter leads some more. I mean, it was 9/10 of a second separating Nick Baxter from Liam Campbell that lap. And now it's obviously going to be extended a touch. Yep, 13/100 of a second. Once again, your first to fifth, first to fourth is less than a half a second. James Qualls is actually 46/100 of a second behind. Almost a little less than a second between first and ninth Ray Castor. Keon Shaw looking to take a move on the number 2 of Liam Campbell, but not to happen. But still, Nick Baxter leading. Looks like he's going to probably get the most laps. He's going to probably get those other 5. He's going to get the 10 bonus points for leading a lap and leading the most. So he'll probably run the table on that, as it seems. But now, Keon Shaw passing Liam Campbell, going up to the high side. James Qualls right there on the inside to take the number 3 spot. We got 10 to go. This time by will make it 9 laps to go. And the gap actually closed the door on James, so he'll lose the number 2 spot. Thankfully for Liam, that's all he's going to lose for the moment. But it actually extends the lead of Nick Baxter. You see lap traffic. There's Jonathan Gators. That's the lap traffic. Could be trouble if they're not careful. Still got 9 laps to go. Make it 8 this time by. So if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, may be catastrophic at this point of the race. Keon Shaw just holding off on Liam Campbell. I didn't understand what that was coming from. Faith Johnson get back into the top 5, excuse me, with the help of Eric Matthews. They pass John Acosta. Very good showing for Paige Johnson. Her sister, Faith Johnson. Speaking of Paige Johnson, she was the pole sitter here at our last season. So, a little bit of interesting factoid for there. 6 laps to go as they come on down. It'll be Keon Shaw, Nick Baxter. Now, that was a little gutsy there for Keon Shaw. Tried to go on the high side. I didn't understand that for a little bit. It'll be 5 laps to go this time by for Nick Baxter. Can he hold off the field? Keon Shaw, Liam Campbell, James Qualls, Faith Johnson, your top 5. Eric Matthews, Ray Castor, Trent Dunham, Keith Batson, Connor Brayton, your top 10. The gap's starting to change. It's a second separating first to fifth. Less than a second. As Eric Matthews is a little over a second. Now, Keon Shaw looking to try to get his second career win. But here comes that X factor that is known as Jonathan Gators. Could be troublesome. We still got 4 laps to go. Make it 3 this time by. So we'll see what everybody's going to do. Who is going to get trapped behind this lap traffic? Who's going to use them as a drafting tool? Should be interesting what's going to come about. Well, they both smartly use it. Yep, they both do. 3 laps to go. Nick Baxter will stay in the lead. Keon Shaw right there. Let's go on the rear, Chase. Dentine in your mouth. I was making a gum reference because you brush your breath with Dentine. Did you see? As it's 2 laps to go, this time by it'll be the white flag. Can Keon Shaw make a move? And he is. They go by white flag. Nick Baxter will lead that lap, but he may be the last lap he's going to lead, and it may be the lap that's not going to matter the most, because the lap that's going to matter more is this lap, as Keon Shaw's got it. Keon Shaw has got it as they drag race down the back straightaway. They go into turns number 3 and 4. Keon Shaw, enough momentum, is going to take the victory in this 1 lap takings. Going to the number 87 Dentine Lumina. Keon Shaw wins. 2nd spot will go to Nick Baxter. 3rd spot will go to Liam Campbell. Faith Johnson will finish in 4th. And Eric Matthews rounding out the top 5. Then it'll be Ray Castor, James Qualls dropping back to 7th. Trent Dunham, Connor Breton, our pole sitters in 9th. And Skylar Harris will round out the top 10. A very solid showing for the 33 Skull Bandit Olds. Then it will be Keith Batson, John Acosta, who is right there in the mix for a little while. Fred Christopher, Levi Scones, Alexander Dawson, Trey Campbell, Sasha Dawson, who was leading for the early on stages, drops back to 17th. Stephanie Naylor, who was looking solid midway, dropping to 18th. Kathy Cantara and Zach Carlson is in 20th. Then Colin Cropley, Chantel Ibarra, Tim Fiegel, Josh Osborne, Dylan Ruiz, Austin Hughes, Dylan Kilburn, Skylyn Carlson, Jennifer Hughes, who was looking good early on, dropped back, and John Dawson. Then it'll be Dylan Poteet, who was also looking good. It's same with Justin Acosta, Joseph Lombard, Tim Walsh, Alex Filter, Michael Dawson, Bob Marshall, Dylan Hughes, Johnny Gardner, another one who was running good, dropped back to 39th. Ryan Cooper. And then rounding him out will be the number 98 of Daniel Schwab, and going a lap down, we saw Jonathan Gators. Not a very good showing for Jonathan either, after a very good showing at Daytona. But our winner here at The Rock, Keon Shaw, gets his 1st win of the season, 2nd win under his belt. And the points are going to get really get shaken up now. So let's take a look at it. Take a look at the point standings right now. You saw Liam Campbell leading with that very good showing by 1 point over Ray Castor, who's just been riding the momentum he had last year. Trey Campbell, how about him? He's right there in 3rd. Very good showing for Trey. And then our champion, Chantel Ibarra, dropping down to 4th, and our Daytona winner, Dylan Kilburn, dropping to 5th. Then Sasha Dawson, Nick Baxter moving up to 7th, Zach Carlson, Connor Brayton, and Kathy Cantara, your top 10. Then Levi Scones, Eric Matthews, Stephanie Naylor, Faith Johnson, Trent Dunham, Keon Shaw in 16th, Josh Osborne, Alex Filter, Alexander Dawson, and Bob Marshall. Then Justin Acosta and Jennifer Hughes, Keith Batson, Tim Fiegel, Jonathan Gators, James Qualls, Skylar Harris, Dylan Poteet, John Acosta, Dylan Ruiz, Fred Christopher, Colin Cropley, Austin Hughes, Daniel Schwab, Joseph Lombard, Ryan Cooper, Dylan Hughes, John Dawson, Johnny Gardner, Skylyn Carlson, Michael Dawson, and Tim Walsh will tail the field. But that's where we stand after 2. Next up, Las Vegas, Matco Tools 400. Whatever happens there stays there. I know James is going to say that in the comments.